Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I Overreacting? And it's by user DizzySuggestion2360. Am I overreacting? Girlfriend threw away the dinner I cooked because she wanted pizza instead. Girlfriend texted me earlier. I was trying to do something nice for her. Wine-braised short ribs, her favorite. She said that just last night. I got up early to make them before work. I even made extra of those little s'mores cakes I baked on Wednesday because I thought she'd want some. But I guess she wasn't in the mood for any of it. She messaged me during work.
When is your break? Can you pick up a pizza so I have something to eat tonight?
I told her I had already made the short ribs, that they were ready in the pot, and the desserts were there too. I reminded her that she'd just told me how much she loved them, so I made them special for her. She replied,
I don't really want that though. Can you just grab a pizza on your break? We can eat that stuff later.
I told her I was locked in at work for the night and asked what was wrong with the short ribs. It kind of sucked to hear that after putting in the effort. Then she said, well, I tried it and it came out kind of gross anyway, so I'm tossing it. Can you ask to leave for a bit and stop by a Papa John's or something? I just want stuffed crust. I was stunned. I asked her, what do you mean gross? You tossed it? As in, like, threw it away?
She said, it just tasted bad. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't eatable. It's not a big deal. I just need to eat something tonight for dinner though. Did you ask?
That meat was expensive. It took hours to cook. I told her I wasn't leaving work. She kept pushing.
Well, I don't know what you expect me to do. It's simple as F. Just order a pizza then if you're busy. Like I have to eat something. Hello? Places are closing soon.
I didn't respond. I'm at work. Then I told her, I'm busy at work. I don't want to talk about it right now. Please figure it out. We'll talk later. Then came the part that really just broke something in me. She goes,
seriously? You're gonna be this much of an a-hole over this? I didn't ask you to cook anything. If you can't deal with the basics of being a supportive partner, then it should be something I consider and find someone who will support me.
So yeah, that's where I am at right now. Tired of trying. I know I didn't ask her what she wanted tonight for dinner, but this wasn't the reaction I expected for doing something thoughtful. I'm too tired and frustrated to even respond. I feel angry. I feel small. I feel done. OP, you're not overreacting. You're seeing things for what they are. She told you she loved that dish. You remembered. You woke up early, cooked it with care, even made extra dessert. And that wasn't just dinner, it was a gesture of love, something a normal partner would appreciate. But she would rather trash it, call it gross, and demanded that you drop work to go get her a pizza, while at the same time insulting you because you didn't jump to fix her mood. And when you didn't cave, she flipped it and blamed you, threatening to leave and find someone who supports her. OP, let's just call this for what it is. It is a toxic, manipulative relationship. And you're finally starting to see it, that you're not the problem and you're done being treated like you are. There's nothing left to fix here. You tried, you showed up, and she made it clear that's not what she values. So just walk away knowing that you're dodging a bullet. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Potatoes and Cake Why Not says, you really shouldn't be dating a teenager. I can't comprehend this person being an adult. Sarcasm aside, get the hell out of this relationship. You want to spend the next 40 years or whatever with someone who throws homemade meals in the garbage, demands pizza from a chain restaurant, and is seemingly incapable of ordering delivery herself? And is rude as F to you? Dude, there are so many red flags in this exchange that you can open up an Etsy store selling used red flags and become a multimillionaire. OK Nose 2206 says, 1. Doesn't show appreciation for you getting up early to make her something that she likes. 2. Throws away something you could have eaten just because she didn't care for it. 3. Apparently incapable of solving her own problems. 4. Threatens you if you don't solve her problems for her. 5. Swears at you in your exchange. And 6. Thinks a supportive partner is someone who caters to her wants, not even her needs, and expects you to do so even when you're at work. I could go on, but do I need to? P.S. I'm a woman and I'm telling you to run. This ungrateful, emotionally immature person needs a reality check. You deserve better. Pompaku says she is being very disrespectful of you, especially if you spent time especially cooking food for her. She wasn't at all appreciative of even the thought of it, which is a red flag. The comments in this last image were especially disrespectful, and the comment about finding someone else warrants considering leaving the relationship. You don't make statements like that to your partner if you care about them, especially if it's over not getting food. Curious Haven says, toss the girlfriend. Look at that last message she sent you. Her goal was to make you feel like crap, paired with a threat to break up if you don't jump to obey her every whim. She's just going to repeat and escalate that behavior every time you two disagree or you try to hold her accountable. She doesn't respect you at all. And Nea102377 says she could have at least sent a text like, hey babe, I appreciate you cooking dinner, but it wasn't my favorite. Can we order something else instead? There was no appreciation shown, and just throwing it away was rude, especially if you liked it. I honestly probably would have just ordered myself something else to eat and told you later that I didn't like it, etc. Your feelings are valid. Well, the community agrees that OP did not overreact, is not an a-hole in this situation, and the girlfriend should become quickly an ex-girlfriend. She's a parade of red flags. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. After spending the morning at a friend's house, I went ahead and just went back to our apartment. I haven't really slept honestly with how anxious I've been to just go and get the conversation done, so I'm exhausted. Basically, I went back to the apartment, she was there scrolling on her phone, I went ahead and just came out with it and explained to her that I can't keep trying to make things work with someone who doesn't care about what I do for them. She started to cry and tell me it's just the way her brain works and it's not her fault. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, it's her brain. She says she's trying in her therapy and that she feels like she doesn't deserve to be loved. I more or less followed up and explained to her I can't be the one to keep dealing with her when she treats me like garbage. She basically got angry as hell at this point and told me I never cared and I never really tried or I wouldn't just leave over something so stupid. She then broke a glass I've been keeping from growing up that was sitting on our counter by throwing it on the ground, at which point I just stopped talking. I spent an hour with her yelling and begging me back and forth while I grabbed things I have that are valuable. I'm just going to disappear for a bit at my friend's. I need to figure out what to do about the rent and stuff since we have a month until renewal. I know it's not really all that crazy of an update and it's just the way it should have played out, but I wanted to just get in and out and be done after thinking about it and being ready to move on from being unhappy. I appreciate everyone's comments and to the people who reached out. I'll be honest, I feel like I've wasted a ton of my life trying to help a broken person and it's just equal parts depressing while also a feeling of being empty and tired. I'm going to try my best to make things better in my life and only give to people who appreciate me and the stuff that I do. Well, OP, considering everything, you've done the right thing. You've gotten away from that woman. Wow. She went through all the emotions. She cried. She was furious. She broke things. She said it wasn't her fault. Dude, this girl just keeps bringing out red flags from everywhere. Again, good for you, OP. You didn't dodge just a bullet. You dodged the whole firing squad. And on that note, here's wishing you the best. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user BonusWest5031. Am I the a-hole for not letting my ex-husband and one of his future stepkids come inside? Our custody arrangement is for each of us to pick the kids up on our day during our 2-hour pickup window. He arrived at the house and I already had the boys ready. I saw his car pull into the driveway on my camera, so the boys were already halfway to the door when my ex knocks. I open the door and he is holding the hand of a 4-year-old. He asks to come in and says his fiance's son needs to use the bathroom. I told him I don't want him to come inside because I don't feel comfortable with him in my house. He has a history of snooping through my things. He asked me to take his future stepson to the bathroom, and I said I was uncomfortable with the situation. He said his stepson needed to pee. I suggested the McDonald's up the road. He said my bathroom would be way cleaner than a McDonald's. At this point, my 11-year-old started pestering his dad to stop so they could leave. My ex said, "Your brother needs to use the bathroom." My son said, "I'll take him." My ex said, "No, your mother would rather he pee his pants. We'll go and hopefully we'll get to the McDonald's in time." My ex and the boys left. He messaged me afterwards saying I was cruel to a child to punish him, and that's not okay. He said I made us both look bad in front of our kids and should be embarrassed of my actions. I have been fighting with him for so long, my perspective is screwed up. Was I in the wrong? No, OP, you're not the a-hole. Your boundary was reasonable. He has a history of snooping, and you're under no obligation to let him into your home. That said, you could have let your son take the boy to the bathroom. It would have spared the child discomfort without compromising your boundary. Now, your ex weaponized that moment to make you look cruel. That's manipulative. In my opinion, I wouldn't even engage with his text. I would just tell him that all future pickups must be solo for him or arranged in advance. Then talk to your lawyer about formalizing that in the custody agreement. You weren't punishing a child, you were just protecting your space, which you are absolutely entitled to do. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Somebody with a broken keyboard says, "Not the a-hole, he wanted to snoop. This was obvious after he rejected your son's offer to take the kid to the bathroom. Sneaky, isn't he?" Bad Mom to Trans says, "Okay, so I like to ask my husband these scenarios and get his 2 cents. He seems to think because you have stated you've had multiple problems with the ex that this was more about control. He wanted you to do what he said. Was the boy hurting and crying because he had to go? If not, my spouse thinks it was a power play by your ex. If it were me, I would have asked my son to take him and told the ex to go wait in his car. But if this douche just like to jerk you around, then not the a-hole." Tutularoo says, "Not the a-hole. Time to do exchanges at Mickey D's." And Opie responds, "That doesn't work because he will be late, and then if I go home, he'll want me to come back and say I'm denying him his custody time. Judge said he can have a 2-hour window for pickup, but it's not fair to me to have to sit in a parking lot for 2 hours. So this is what we agreed upon with the judge for both of us. It's not perfect, but everything else we tried was worse." And Hikazan says, "This was a power play that backfired. You have a reasonable boundary. Enforce it without guilt. In fact, your son probably respects you more knowing you aren't a pushover. Oh, and screw your manipulative ex, not the a-hole." The community agrees OP was not the a-hole and that it was all just a power play by the ex. So now, let's move on with the first of 2 updates to see what happened next. I did talk to my lawyer about what happened. He said we can address it at the hearing we already have scheduled about the movie situation. I thought that was that, but of course it was my turn to pick up the kids today. When I arrived at my ex's place, he opened the door very wide and invited me in. I was suspicious and said, "No thank you." He kept insisting I come in so we can show the kids we are civil, but I had a bad feeling. I said I would just wait in the car for the boys to come out. I got in my car and texted my older son that I was there. A short while later, he texted me back saying his dad said they couldn't leave unless I got them. I went back to the door and knocked again. Again, my ex invited me inside. I said I didn't want to come in, and that was when my boys showed up. My ex's fiance was right behind them, telling them to come back upstairs. They ran to me, and we left. I don't know what this game is, but I'm not falling for it, whatever it is. Additional information from Opie's comments. My son said he wanted to go downstairs when I was at the door, but my ex's fiance said he needed to wait. Then, when I texted him, he went downstairs, but my ex sent him back up. When he heard me at the door the second time, he ran downstairs with my younger son. He doesn't know why they wanted me to come in, but it's pretty clear they did. Also, to clear up the movie situation, I had plans to take the boys to the movies, and he wanted me to not take them so he could take them during his custody time. I let them decide, and they wanted to go on opening day, my custody time. I took them. He's saying I shouldn't be able to take them to a movie he specifically told me not to take them to. I think that only applies when it's a movie he doesn't want them to see at all, not one he is okay with them seeing, but merely wants to take them himself. Also, to those wondering, he's not physically violent. He never hit me, even when the divorce was at its most worst levels of contention. He told me I was worthless, that no man would ever want me, that I was nothing without me, but he never touched me. So yes, he has inflicted a great deal of psychological damage on me, but he has never touched me in any way without my explicit consent. And you wanna know something funny? Spending time with him was the best part. It was everything else that sucked. I had no privacy. He went through my phone and computer almost every night. If I asked to use my phone while he was going through it, I was hiding something. He would dig through my drawers looking for hidden stuff and mess everything up, and if I complained, he would do it again because there must have been something there if I was complaining. I had to account for every penny I spent, every moment I wasn't being productive. When we were doing things together, he was so charming, funny, and sweet. He's so handsome and smart and fit, but it got to the point where I was scared whenever he wasn't around because I couldn't trust myself to make decisions without his approval. I was becoming a shell of myself. Well, Upi, first of all, congratulations on being able to get yourself out of that toxic and abusive relationship. It's also a good thing you didn't go into that house. For all you know, they were trying to entrap you or something because of your upcoming hearing. And speaking of the hearing, let's not waste any more time and go straight to the final update to see how this story ends. Just concluded our hearing, and it went okay, all things considered. Judge said that neither of us need the permission of the other to take the children to age-appropriate experiences like movies. He told X not to tell me I can't take the kids to do certain things because he wants to do them. If he wants to do them, he can, but so can I. So that was a win. The judge was annoyed that there was another drop-off issue. He was specially annoyed because the reason he gave my ex a 2-hour window for drop-offs was because he said he needed the flexibility since he is a caretaker of his fiance's children. If he's taking them to drop-offs, why does he need a 2-hour window? The judge told him, do not take his fiance's children to my house and do not ask to come inside my house. He told me not to ask to go inside his house either. He also told me not to rush my ex and to be patient and allow the children time to come to the door. I wasn't rushing him, but I didn't say that to the judge. I just agreed. X also dropped the bombshell that the week of the wedding, he needs me to pick the kids up from the resort the wedding is at instead of his house because they are going on their honeymoon straight from the resort and not returning home. I am very uncomfortable with this, and my lawyer said that it's too much of a burden to put on me. The judge disagreed with my lawyer and said we all have to be flexible sometimes. So I'm stuck doing that. To the best of my understanding, the wedding will end very late the night before, and their flight is sometime in the afternoon of the pickup day. I don't really understand the logistics of the thing. However, I am less stressed now though because at today's pickup, my ex just stayed in the car and texted our oldest that he was here. Progress. Anyway, I feel like he intentionally started fights about the previous 2 issues he knew he would lose on, so the judge would side with him on the final issue to make things fair. Maybe I'm just paranoid. In any case, my lawyer said it's fine to have a Ring camera or a dash cam, but not to record things on my phone unless my ex is doing something really bad, because our judge really hates people who record everything and it will prejudice him against me. So, 2 wins and a loss. I feel good about that, even though I am incredibly stressed out. I am worried he's going to try to trick me into doing or saying something that can be perceived as hostile and tell the judge I sabotaged his wedding. Hopefully they'll be too happy about being married to pull any stunts. Well, OP, I'm with you. 2 wins and a loss is something I think you can live with, considering you just have to go pick them up at the wedding. Hopefully you don't interact with anybody and just can move on with your life. And hopefully with the new rules, you just see progress every time. So on that note, here's wishing you and your kids the best, OP. Thanks for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.